Hey, Southeast Missouri sports fans. Enjoy the show and want to take it on the go? You can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Tune in as they air by searching SEMO Sports Zone wherever you may be listening. Welcome to SEMO Sports Zone presented by A-Corp Sports. David, that semifinal matchup is all over. What'd you think of this week?
It went pretty much the way I thought it would go, but you had some pretty good games.
Barring one game.
Yeah, one game. I missed one game. Thank you for, I didn't even, Segment Northwest, I don't know anything about them. But, it went kind of according to plan, but some good games, and you got some teams that are really playing well right now.
Had any of these games kind of surprised you on just their outcomes?
Not really. I think that just the margin of some of them were a little bit bigger than what I might have thought, but that kind of happens this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
You get that lead early, and you just kind of pull away at the end. But I think it's setting up some really nice matchups for this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
championship matchups. Full slate. They look pretty good top to bottom. I don't think there's any one game this week that you could, barring a couple, but I feel like for the most part, classes 1, 2, 3, and 5, all great games that you might want to just tune into.
Yeah. I think we got some really, really nice matchups that should be close, and I don't see any. I think both in every one of those classes, either one of the teams that win that district, I think is deserving, and I think it's going to be a great game. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout. I'm not expecting any big blowouts. I think they're all going to be really good games.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Class 1, we've got Porterville-Charleston 28-14.
For those that could actually see the game, that thing was crazy foggy. But Portersville kind of jumped out early. I jumped out to a 20-0 lead. Parker Babb, he had a heck of a first half, especially, but had a heck of a game altogether. Just a really nice game for Portersville. They just, again, they don't beat themselves. They just they're very strong. They know what their identity. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run some play action. They controlled that line of scrimmage, and I thought they played really well. And Charleston, kind of made a comeback there, kind of cut it to 20-14. But Hickenbottom had that big run there in the fourth quarter to put it away. But a really nice game a competitive game for both teams. But I think Portersville just, again, they controlled the line of scrimmage and did what I thought they would do, played disciplined football and won.
Yeah, we talked about Portersville all year, just kind of being that quiet pick for a lot of games. I think it's mostly just because of discipline, like you said. They're not super flashy, and I feel like you don't have to be. If you have that consistency, if you have a great defense that can kind of stop these more flashy teams that are more flash in the pan, then I think that's what wins you games like these.
Yeah, and Charleston's been a good team. It's not like they. This is a good team they beat, and Portersville, just like I said last week, I think they are the most improved team from the beginning of the year to now. And they just are very fundamental. They do things the right way. They don't beat themselves, and that's going to carry them over into this district championship as the 4 seed, and they've got a legitimate chance to win this. And I think it's a really nice job that Coach Bidwell's done in his first year ever as a head football coach, and just a really nice job from this coaching staff, just getting these guys from where they were at the beginning of the year to now, and we'll see how much better they are whenever they play Hayti.
And, for Charleston, what do you think improvements you can make in the offseason? What are you losing going into next year?
You still have a lot coming back next year. I think, they've got the quarterback back. They've got some running backs back. I think it's just improving on what they did this year, this first year for the Coach Adams over there. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, you're just building that program and trying to get it the way you want it. Charleston has been playing pretty well for the last few years, and they just continued that this year. You just want to improve on it and get a little better. But for Charleston, it's just like anything else. It's you just want to get your younger guys better in the offseason.
Absolutely. Moving on, we've got Hayti at Saxony Lutheran, a game that we called the coin flip game, and was absolutely not that.
Yeah, we said there was going to be a lot of points scored, and there was for one team. But the speed of Hayti I thought would be a big problem for Saxony, and it was. They were able to to get out. Isaiah Love had 3 touchdowns. They were able to get the ball, out through the air. J.C. Ford had a really nice game. It was just tough, and then it was tough. The speed on the opposite end defensively. It's like Hayti had them, had them matched down. The receivers really had a tough time getting open, and when that happens, you're not gonna move the ball as well, and that's kind of what Saxony had there. Saxony had a great season, but Hayti was just a really tough matchup for them.
Yeah, it's kind of what we kind of expected from Hayti early in the season, and injuries, things like that, they kind of pile up. But Hayti is popping off like right when they need to. They're playing their game. That athleticism is kind of showing itself out. Great win for Hayti. They're showing themselves to be a team that if they win this district championship, they're a team that can start to make a run.
Yeah, they have to cut out some of the penalties. A lot of penalties hurt them in this game. Your penalties and turnovers in games like this. Fortunately, Hayti had a big lead and were able to get out. But whenever they play Porterville is not going to beat themselves, so you can't have those. So you got to really clean that stuff up. But man, they are so fast, especially once they get to the edge, they're gone, and that's just it's really tough to defend that. I mean, you just can't. I mean, you've got to have the speed to match it. So this is a team that can make a really good run here, and they just got to clean up a few of the penalties and turnovers. And I think that they're set.
And unsung heroes, but their defensive trench line is pretty good too.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing well in the trenches. They're doing a really nice job. That's one of the things that Saxony just wasn't able to move the ball, and that's something they've been able to do all year, score points. And Hayti really had a great game plan on and was ready for them. They had that extra week. Both teams had that extra week to prepare, and Hayti was very prepared. And their coaching staff did a really nice job getting them ready. And man, they just really made it tough for Saxony to move the ball.
And for Saxony, like you said, great start to your program. What improvements do you think they have to make going into this next season?
Oh, just continue to get better. I mean, for them, it's just playing. I mean, this is the first year for the program. They go 4-5. They've got a sophomore quarterback, a freshman receiver. A lot of sophomores and freshmen that are making a difference, and they're going to be a problem in a couple of years for these teams. This is a team that's up and coming, and we've talked about it all year. This is just the beginning of what they're going to do, and just a tremendous start for them, and to go 4-5 and to have the team that they have this year, and just the talent that they have. I mean, Kai McDowell, I think, is one of the best quarterbacks in the area, and he's only a sophomore, so he's got 2 more years to blossom, and I'm sure he will, and they're going to be really good.
Yeah, great inaugural season for Saxony. Moving on to Class 2, we've got New Metro County Central at Crothersville, 8:35.
Yeah, Crothersville, a really nice job. Their quarterback was back. Hudgens was back. He had a big game, a couple of touchdown passes. Sammy Bryant, a couple of touchdown runs. They kind of started out slow. And what I noticed from a lot of these teams who had the week off, they kind of all started off slow, with the exception of Jackson, but they're the exception to every rule, it seems. But it seems like all these teams kind of started off slow, and it's because you're used to playing, you're getting your schedule, and then you're off a week. You kind of it's tough to get back into that routine and get back into the swing of things. But man, Crothersville, once they got it going, they look good. But throwing the ball, the ability of them to throw the football along with Sammy Bryant, I think, is huge. Lockridge is the receiver there that he's super fast. Really tough to defend. He had a couple of touchdowns receiving. He also had a punt return for a touchdown. A really nice game from him, and he's just a junior. Hudgens is just a junior, their quarterback. So that's some stuff that they're going to really look toward next year, I think. But you mix that passing game in with Sammy Bryant. That's tough to defend.
Yeah, I think for a lot of teams around here, they'd love to have the diversity of being able to throw and rush that way. For Crothersville, I mean, having that talent all be backed up by your play style too, I think that's what's going to help them, especially going past this district tournament. Obviously, they got another matchup for the championship, but going forward, I think that's really going to help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're a full team. I mean, they've got a good defense as well. I mean, New Madrid scored a ton of points a week before, and then they held them to just 1 touchdown. They've got a good defense to go along with that offense. They're a team that, I said it here earlier this year that they're a team that I think can make a run in Class 2 and win a couple games in the playoffs if they get out of districts. Now they've got a tough game with St. Pius coming up, but man, this is a team they can run, they can throw, they can defend. I mean that's everything you want. You just have to put it all together in one game. You really can't have any letdowns. But man, they New Madrid cut this game to 21-8, but Crothersville didn't flinch, and they put a couple on them late, and just did a really nice job. Crothersville's got to hold on to the football. They had 3 turnovers inside the New Madrid 20. That kind of hurt them, but this is a good football team, and if they don't beat themselves, they're going to be really tough.
What I do see from Crothersville, I see them a lot like what we kind of see in Portersville. It's just as far as consistency goes, but they do have more offensive weapons, I would say.
Yeah, they have weapons. Bryant, and then with Hudgens being able to get the ball out to Lockridge, I mean, he's super fast. I think he did. Did really well at the state track meet. I think he won maybe won something or was up in the top there. He's just really fast though. He's got a lot of speed and game changing speed. And when you add that to a great running back like Sammy Bryant, man, it's just if you're the other team, pick your poison.
Right.
What are you going to do?
And then moving on, we've got St. Vincent at St. Pius, 33-41.
Yeah, this was the team who had the ball last game. A great game, exciting game. St. Pius though pulled it out. They've played a tough schedule this year, and they've lost a few, but they're really putting it on right now. They St. Vincent had a 6-game win streak. Both these teams are playing well coming in. St. Pius, so they get that rematch with Crothersville. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And but they're definitely seasoned. They played a tough schedule all year, played some bigger schools, and they were ready for this game and tested. And I think that kind of what helped them pull it out at the end.
St. Vincent, I mean, they kind of seemed like a juggernaut last year. So
yeah, I mean, and they've got some good players. They kind of start off slow. I think they'd won like 6 straight coming into this game, but it was anybody's game late. It was just a great job by St. Vincent, or this season, just to hang with it, and they play a tough schedule as well. But I think St. Pius was just able to pull it out, and I mean it's two very good football teams there.
Absolutely. And then moving on to Class 3, we've got Scott City at Dexter, 7-42.
Yeah, that Scott City jumped out early in this game, and I'm sure that kind of woke Dexter up a little bit. They kind of just, moved the ball down the field in no time, and a big run there by Underwood kind of set it up, and then they were able to score, and all of a sudden Dexter's down 7-0. Dexter goes 3 and out, and you got problems, and I think that Dexter all of a sudden woke up and like, hey, we got to fix this. They made some adjustments defensively, and shut down the running game the rest of the game. And then, man, their offense just took off. Great. Devin Turnbow, have a game. 6 touchdowns.
Best game from him, 6 touchdowns, an interception. I mean, he can kind of do it all.
Yeah, I've been following Dexter football for a lot of years. I'm sure there has been another 6 touchdown game by somebody, but I can't remember it. I mean, it's been, that was a heck of a performance from him, and he's just a good football player. I mean, he does it offensively, and I think defensively he's just as good. I mean, he made a huge interception in this game, and he returns kicks, and I mean, he just kind of does it all for Dexter. He's just a complete player, and he's just really good. But they've got a lot of other guys too. They've got a lot of weapons there. That Horoyevich, he played well. Wernick was back. He kind of got back in the flow of things, and even Gavin Passley was getting some carries there for him. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that can carry the ball, a lot of guys that can get loose, and they're just a good football team, and we'll see what happens here against Potosi. But man, that was a really good game from them. Once they kind of woke up a little bit, it was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter, but it was over after that. Dexter just put them away.
Yeah, I think what we see in this game from Dexter, especially once they got rolling, is this is what the Dexter archetype is now. Mm-hmm. We see it kind of all year, but I feel like this is like, I don't want to say it's their peak, but it's kind of hitting that point where it's like, okay, this is when they're playing their best. This is what they look like.
Yeah, and they look really good. Geatley throws a ball. He throws a really nice ball. We were talking about it before we went there. I think he throws a really nice ball. He puts it on the money, and he's very accurate. He's not somebody who's going to like be able to fit the ball in between 2 receivers with a line drive. That's really strong, but he puts it on the money. He's very accurate, and that's that's a lot. Your receivers know the ball is going to be there. So, they can throw the ball, they can run it. I mean, they're just the complete team right now. And, you're going to be matching up against some good teams, but they've definitely got their stuff going right now.
And for Scott City, I mean, this was a team that was pretty good all year, I would say. Losing Jackson Gloth, I mean, that really hurt.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He got hurt in the last series against Dexter a couple weeks ago and has been out. And that's, you're pretty much dependent on Underwood. And Underwood's a great running back, but when you're pretty much one-dimensional, it's a lot easier to defend. And once Dexter made those adjustments, they were able to shut that running game down. And Scott City was pretty much, at the will of Dexter at that point. And, Scott City fought. I mean, they had a really good year. They got some big wins, but, losing your quarterback late in the season like that's tough. That's a tough break, but they had a really good year.
And what do you think as far as like postseason for them goes going into the next season? What do you have to work on? I know you're losing a lot of pieces.
Yeah, you lose some pieces, and is Chaffee going to be with you next year too? Because you've got some pieces there that have really helped. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that situation. Is Chaffee back with you next year, or is Chaffee try to go back on their own? I know that they continue to have a junior high program with the thought of getting their own team back. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It's going to be it's going to be an interesting offseason there for Scott City and see what they have back next year. I mean, you really don't know. You really can't even make a guess at this point what they're going to have next year. But they've got a good coaching staff there, and I'm sure whatever they have, they'll get them coached up.
Absolutely. And then I guess I'd say this was a pick that was controversial for us when we talk about it, but feels like everybody kind of picked this. Potosi at Park Hills, 35-28.
Yeah, apparently this was an outstanding game. Potosi had a couple touchdown lead late in the game, and Park Hills Central was able to score and I guess get the onside kick and get it down close to the goal line. It was stopped, almost very similar to the Dexter, what happened in reverse when they played Dexter. But they were stopped, and Potosi was able to pull it out. Man, it was just a great game. Park Hills is a team that they're not going to quit, but Potosi's really good. They've got a good running back in Noah Walton. They've got a quarterback who can throw it a little bit. They're really tough, and I knew coming into this game that those two teams have played each other tough coming in. And I really thought it would be, it's really tough to beat a team twice whenever you were, pretty much even the first time. So, because they come in with that motivational factor of, hey, you beat us, and we want that revenge. So, that was it was a great win for Potosi, and now that sets up a pretty good district championship.
Yep, Potosi playing spoiler.
Yep, and Dexter's very familiar with Potosi. In basketball, they played them down to the wire in the sectional game, and so they're familiar with each other.
It kind of felt like it got very heated towards the end.
Yeah, little chippy at the end, and so it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up. But it ought to be a good game because I think they're very similar.
And then Class 4, we've got Hillsboro at Festus, 041.
Yeah, Festus just put it on Hillsboro. They're the class of this district, and they're just going to be tough. They've got a chance to make a deep run in Class 4, and I think they're going to roll through this.
Hard to talk about. These aren't really local teams.
Yeah, these aren't really team,
but also North County at Perryville, 51-7.
Yeah, Perryville's overranked to start with, and North County's not a bad team. They play a really tough schedule. And Perryville plays a very weak schedule. And so Perryville gets the wins, it gets a higher seed, but I thought North County was a little bit more ready for a district run. And I think North County can give Festus a pretty decent game, but I think Festus is probably the better team. I think they're going to get out of this district. But yeah, I think North County was probably the 2 seed in this district. Perryville probably shouldn't have been. They should have been more of a 6 or 7 seed. Honestly, they just play a lot of smaller schools and they win those games, which is a credit to them. But it's just not a tough schedule,
sure.
And I don't know how ready they are for a team like a North County.
Yeah, you hear about that with teams around here all the time. Is that the teams you play just aren't really matching up to your competition at this point?
Yeah, once you get into district, you got to play competition that gets you ready for that district, and I think that North County does that.
And then moving on to Class 5, this has been the most chalk class as far as the tournament goes. But, Fox at Farmington, 28-49.
Yeah, Farmington kind of took care of business, did what they do. They score a lot of points. They're a team that likes to get out and start fast, and they were able to do that and put Fox away. This has been this district championship has been leading this way. I thought there were two teams that had a chance to win this district, and they're going to meet. I think they were the two teams that were head and tails above everybody else. So Farmington, took care of their business, and they got there. They'll get to host, and we'll see what they do against Cape Central.
Yeah, and then Cape Central, Webster Groves at Cape Central, 14-50.
Yeah, again, Cape Central, a huge second half. They kind of a little sluggish in that first half, but come out in the second half, fired up, ready to go. A big night. Boyd had a big night. I think he had 4 touchdowns. Just a really nice game from them. They just kind of put it on them. Gave up a score early, made a big defensive play there right before the half where they intercepted a pass in the end zone that could have really cut the game. It was, I think, 16-8 going into half, and then second half they just blew them out. Cape Central's a good team. They're playing well defensively. Offensively, they're getting healthy. They're getting things rolling. They've got 2 running backs in Boyd and Murray that really are tough to stop. And I think they've been looking forward to this Farmington game. I think they felt like they should have beat Farmington the first time, and they're going to be very highly motivated when they go up there this week.
Yeah, I think Cape Central, it's a very dramatic season because, that week 1, like as soon as Boyd went down, it was like, okay, what's this mean for our team? Offensively, how do we pick it up? And I think they kind of held the line for the majority of the season. They did what they needed to get to this point.
Yeah, and the last 2 games have been their best 2 games offensively all year. I think 35 points and then 50 points here. That's the most they've scored, I think, all season. And they've kind of got things rolling offensively, and of course defensively they've been outstanding all year. They are really tough defensively, and I think they're set up to and playing their best football of the year going into this district championship game. So hats off to them and their coaching staff. We've talked about Coach Gibbs here before. He's a great coach. He knows how to get these kids ready and get them peaking at the right time, and I think they are. And that's just not only is that a good game between two good teams, but it's also a good game between 2 good coaches. Coach Eckley, obviously, he's got a state championship at Jackson. He's a great coach. Gibbs the same way. That's just that's going to be an epic game right there.
Absolutely. And, for Cape Central, too, I think where they started to really kind of show themselves like where they're at is that game against Live for Life, just to play defensively against a team that typically plays pretty lights out offensively. Yeah,
I think that was a game that they had to win just for confidence, and I think they did that, and they've just been getting better and better each week after that. You get people back healthy, and they're just really rolling right now, and they're look like they're going to be tough to stop.
And then moving on, we've got Oakville at Jackson, 7:49.
Yeah, well, Jackson, they did not follow the take a week off and come out slow. They did not come out sluggish. They played really well, jumped out 49-0. They just their offensive line. It's just amazing how good their offensive line is for a high school football team. I'm very impressed with that, and I know everybody's like, well, when they go play CBC, they're probably going to be in trouble, and maybe they are. But I tell you what, that offensive line. That's going to eliminate a lot of things that a team like CBC wants to do because that offensive line is really, really good, and they've got good, good players behind them, and Drew Parson and Jalen Hampton and Thoma at the wide receiver. They've got some really, really good players, and man, they just continue to demolish teams. And Oakville, that's a good team. That's not a bad team. They just jumped out 49-0 on them like it was nothing. It was just Just a great game. Now they get to have a district championship at the Pit, which they've not had one of those there in quite a while. So good for them, and I hope they continue the run.
So how does this Jackson team look compared to Jackson teams of old?
Man, I think they look as good, if not better, than any of them, and that includes their state championship team. I really do think that this team matches up with that state championship team. Now, granted, we have the recency bias, but they do look better to me. That offensive line is just as good, if not better. Quarterback just as good. Every position is but the defense is really good too. And it's really tough because that was a great football team too. So they are as good, if not better, than that state championship team. Now, granted, they're in a different class. They're in Class 6, so you're going to be playing a little bit tougher teams as you get into the playoffs. But this Jackson team is as good as any that they've ever had in that school that I've seen. And, they are – I just love watching that offensive line work. They're just so good, and they just move people around. And for a high school offensive line, that is really, really just an excellent offensive line. And, just a really good football team.
All right, and then moving on to the final game, Northwest at Seckman. Played spoiler to your picks, but 14-7.
Well, in my defense, in my defense, Segment beat them 49-14 earlier in the year, and you weren't expecting such a big turnaround. I knew it would be closer, but man, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect Northwest. But again, I've never seen either one of these teams all year. I don't know any of these teams, but man, that was what a turnaround. Northwest gets beat 49-14, and it goes back to that revenge factor a lot too. You know, you get motivated for teams that have beat you, and you think that you're better than what you showed, and you know, Northwest was able to do that and pull this one out of a really close game, a very defensive game. You know, Seckman could not get going offensively, and man, looks like a really nice game, kind of an old school game, 14-7. You don't see many of those anymore, but congrats to Northwest, and they get to come down to Jackson, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and then want to go ahead and get into championship.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Class 1, we've got Hayti at Portageville.
So I picked Portageville when the district tournament started. I'm going to stick with them, although I'm not as more confident in my pick now as I was then. Not that I was really confident then, but Hayti's playing really well. Portageville, you know, Hayti beat Portageville week 2, 42-20. I think that you know, Hayti is again, they're playing very well. They're healthy. They're going to be tough to defend. Can Portageville control the line of scrimmage? That's the question for Portageville. And Hayti, can you not beat yourself with penalties and turnovers? And I think that's what this game comes down to. I just really like the way Portageville is playing, so I'm gonna keep my pick at Portageville in a close one. But man, I think Hayti, you know, they're going to be tough to stop. And if they don't, you know, commit silly penalties and turn the ball over, I think they can win this game and maybe win it going away like they did the first time. But I'm going to stick with Portageville. I like their discipline. I like the way they've been playing. I think that they're not going to beat themselves, and I think that they maybe force a few turnovers here and get the win.
If Portageville can blitz, I think that's what's going to be the big thing. I mean, I've seen them play that very swarm defense to really put pressure on quarterbacks, and if they can do that, I think they've got a much better chance. Right now, I mean, if Hayti's playing their best game and their receivers are just making one-handed grabs, things like that, looking just like the most spectacular team could look right now, I think it's Hayti by 20 at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I think Portageville wins close or Hayti wins big. I think those are the two scenarios. And but man, I you know, to me it's a coin flip game. I mean, I think both of these teams are really good, but I'm gonna stick with my Portageville pick. I'm not gonna back off of it. I'm gonna stick with it. A 4 seed gets out of here and gets the win. But I think it's going to be I think it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage and who makes the mistakes. And if Hayti continues to have the penalties and mistakes, I think Portageville takes advantage of it.
Okay. And then next up, we got St. Pius at Crothersville.
Man, another one that could be a coin flip. I mean, these two teams played week 1. It was a one-score game. Crothersville was able to pull it out on the road. I think that's big too. St. Pius having to come down to Crothersville. Crothersville is able to throw the ball and run the ball a little bit better now than I think they were at the beginning of the year. I think that I like Crothersville in this game. I think that they're able to use their athleticism and speed on the outside to with Lockridge a little bit more than they did in the first game. So I think Crothersville pulls this out, but I think it's going to be a really good game because St. Pius is coming down, and you know they've got that revenge on their mind. You know that's one of the games too that you're thinking of. Hey, you know we're better than what we showed the first game. So this could be but I think the fact that the St. Pius and Crothersville played so close the first time, Crothersville's not going to be overlooking them. They're going to be prepared, and I like Crothersville in this one. Yeah,
I think narrative wise, I think it's great. You know, you start week 1 with this game, and then you end kind of just the year with this game for one of these teams. I think it kind of just shows like, all right, how much did you grow? And I like Crothersville in it too, just because I don't have as much film on St. Pius. And you know, I think Crothersville, like you said, offensive, defensive, they've got weapons on both sides. I like Crothersville. Crothersville is a really good team. They're really fun to watch. So I'm going to take Crothersville also.
Yep.
Moving on, we've got Class 3, Potosi at Dexter.
Well, I think I hope there's not a letdown with Dexter thinking that, you know, because they were looking forward, I think, to playing Park Hills again. So I hope there's not a letdown thinking, oh, here comes Potosi. We should beat Potosi because Potosi is a very good football team. They've got a kid named Noah Walton. He's rushed for over 1,800 yards this year, 30 touchdowns. I'm like, he's somebody you got to really watch. They can throw it. David Miller, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards this year too. I mean, they can run, they can throw. You got to be ready for both. But at the same time, you know, if Dexter can control the line of scrimmage like they've been doing, and run the football like they've been doing, and, set it up and then mix in the pass. I think that Dexter can win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Dexter wins this game by a score or two and moves on and gets a back-to-back district titles. I think that, Dexter's just got to take care of their business and come out. Hopefully they don't come out slow like they did against St. Genevieve last year. I think, they've got to come out and come out strong from the start. But you've got to control Walton, and I think you got to make them try to throw the football against you. I think you got to stop Walton first. I think that's your first order if you're Dexter defense. But I think they can do that and control line of scrimmage, and I think Dexter can win this game.
I think Dexter can win this game. Absolutely. I think this is going to be a very low scoring game. If I had to guess, I feel like it's two teams that look probably very similar. Scheming wise, probably very similar in that sense too. What I think it's going to come down to is you can't make mistakes. You can't come out slow. You can't throw a pick. You can't throw a pick in this game. It's been every time a pick's been thrown, it's been against teams that either it turns into a pick six, which is just that's not good. But it's a team that gets kind of stymied on it. And it's just okay, they got a good little moment that they picked you off and it didn't really matter that much. In this game, this is when it's all chips are all in. You can't make those mistakes.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes. This is the one game where, obviously there's going to be mistakes made in the game, but you don't want any big mistakes. You don't want any, and you can't have penalties. Dexter penalties really got them against Park Hills Central. And in a close game, penalties, turnovers, those are the things that kill you. And I think this is going to be a closer game. So you got to minimize those. And man, you just, and Potosi has to do the same thing. Potosi is very similar to Dexter in a lot of ways. You've got a good running back. You've got a good, you've got a good line of scrimmage. You've got a good quarterback who can throw the ball a little bit. They're very similar, but I think Dexter's defense is a little bit better than Potosi's. I think that's where where this game is going to be, the difference in this game is, and I think Dexter pulls it out. But I think it is, I'm like you, I think it's in the 20s, and I think it's close.
And, I think, Devin Turbo can light up the end zone, obviously. But I think this is a game where Dexter's other weapons are going to come into play as far as just we need that crucial first down. They're probably going to try to, go for it on that.
Yeah. They know what Dexter's going to do, and Dexter knows what Potosi's going to do. By the time they get to this game, both teams are going to be well scouted by the other, and so I expect a game where there's a lot of adjustments made in game, but it's just again, I think it's just going to who makes the fewest mistakes is probably who's going to win this game.
All right, and then Class 4, we've got North County at Festus.
I like Festus here. I think North County can play them for a while and play them tough, but I think Festus is just a better team, and I think Festus is they're definitely they played a tough schedule, and they're ready for this, and they're ready to make a deep run, and I think Festus will win this game.
Festus, my only litmus I have is how many points they put on Jackson.
Yeah.
Which, maybe you can say it's that doesn't really matter. It was a regular season game towards the end of the season. We're in district play now. It doesn't matter. But it's all I got. And, it's a lot more than other teams can do.
Yeah. Festus, I think, is a good Class 4 team. I think they're going to make a nice little run here in Class 4. So, and in North County, they kind of came on late, but I like Festus in this one.
All right. In Class 5, we've got Cape Central at Farmington.
So this is a revenge game. Can Cape Central minimize the mistakes that they made in the first game to get rid of the fumbles, get rid of the penalties? And I think they can. I think with you add Boyd, you got some of your offensive line healthier now. I like Cape Central going up there and knocking off Farmington. I think Farmington is a good football team, but I think they're still maybe a year away from being where they really want to be. And I think Cape Central is there now. I think Cape Central gets up there and wins this game and kind of gets revenge for that earlier season game. I think it's a close game, but I think defensively Cape Central is able to stop Farmington enough to get this win, and they score enough points, obviously. But I think it's a lower scoring game, and I think that bodes well for Cape Central.
Now, I don't want to sound like a downer, but my prediction is it's going to be a Farmington game by about 6.
There you go. Hey.
And like you said, coin flip game. Cape's defense, they look great all year. They look spectacular. I feel like this is just one of those games where it just kind of feels a little bit too perfect for Cape Central to come in and win.
It does. It does have one of those feels.
So, I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, I'm just adding in a different voice to kind of just, narrow that margin a little bit. And I'm going to say Farmington.
Yeah. Yes, I see. You just don't like our area's football teams. I get it. That's fine.
And then Class 6, we've got Northwest at Jackson.
Jackson. I don't know. I mean, what more can we say about Jackson? I mean, this is. I mean, they're undefeated. This is what they've built for all year long, is to win this game. I think they do that, and I think they move on, and then we get that matchup that everybody's been wanting to see with CBC. But man, I think this is just a. If you get a chance to get out and watch this Jackson team, please do it, because they are really good. You're not going to find a better football team in Southeast Missouri than this Jackson team.
The best team in the area, full stop.
Yeah, and I'm best team in the area for several years. I mean, this is a team that does not come around a lot, and they're a really good football team. And so if you get a chance to get out and watch this team, I would.
Absolutely. They've got Team of Destiny written all over them.
Yeah. And I'm very anxious. I want them to play CBC. I'm anxious to see how they match up against them, because I think that's going to be really interesting. Just an outstanding game, I think that'll be. But yeah, that's good for them. But take care of business. Obviously, don't overlook Northwest for CBC. But this is a football team that's primed and ready, and they're just playing great right now.
All right, that covers everything I've got. Any final thoughts, David?
No, just we're here. We made it to the district championships, and some very interesting games. And I'm just anxious to see what happens. And I think we have some really, really good football games on tap for this weekend, where either team can win, and we won't be surprised.
Absolutely. That's all I got too. So thanks for watching the SEMO Sports Zone. We'll catch you next time.